All right, this is part 6 of us documenting our journey to financial freedom. And if you don't know me, my name is Eric. We are making this channel to give you tips, tricks, more just like insights that we've learned throughout our journey to financial freedom, straight from the dome to the phone. And we don't want to put any like high production value into it. As you can see, it is me driving in my car, going to the vending route to service a machine because it's vending multiple cans at a time. So my goal is to make it as raw and to the point as possible, because that's what real life is. It's not some polished version of only the highlights. The whole point of this is to give you like the nitty-gritty, all the things that we're experiencing to get to where we need to go. And today, like I said, I'm going to a location that's actually our farthest location. Super fun. It's about 36 minutes from our house and in another state, because we live in Cincinnati, so it's in Kentucky. So about 36-minute drive, and I've got to go fix a machine, one of the drink machines that we have that is vending multiple cans, because somewhere along the way I didn't configure the machine or the cam settings or the motor settings to reflect that there are it's a 4 deep setup. I did it on the computer screen with the machine itself, but apparently I needed to do it with a cam setting. So all fun things, all learning as we go, but it is by far our slowest location now. It's a better performing one than our previous slowest location, but at this current point, I mean, it's technically what we call free storage, so there's not really any payments that I need to come out of pocket for. It's essentially like covering itself, all the fees, the recurring credit card fees and everything that it would typically take. But it's open 5 days a week, 9 to 5. Never again. We are never putting a drink and snack machine into an office building ever again, because the weekends not being open kills us, and also just the psychology of like office workers for the most part hasn't been very productive for us, because a lot of them are, I wouldn't even say health conscious. Like there are definitely some snackers, but the issue is the type of work that they do isn't very demanding, and the psychology behind it isn't very necessary for snacks. Like they're likely going to come down, I don't know, halfway through the day to grab something real quick, but it's not anything, where they're going to buy a whole bunch of stuff for the day. I mean, it's maybe like a Diet Coke for $1.25 or something. And you take that same machine and put it in a warehouse or an apartment or something where there's more people coming in and out on a daily basis, and it's a 24/7 facility, then and the labor hours are a little bit more grueling, or people are getting home from a long day and they just want like a pack of cookies to chill out, or they're wanting an energy drink first thing in the morning. The psychology is just different. And also, sometimes people want to go out for the weekend. They might grab an energy drink for a mixer, or they might grab a soda to mix in their alcohol, or they're leaving for the night, and or they're coming home from the night and they want a snack to have, just to eat, to like wind down, or anything else. If they're watching a movie, it's like it all matters. And then on the warehouse side, the labors are pretty intense, so they only get a couple minute break, so they need to grab something quick. So that's where this comes into play. But anyway, I'm gonna go fix those settings, and I'm also gonna switch out a drink selection that we had with a different one. So we're currently we put in sparkling water at the facility, and because it was requested at our old location, and we moved the machine over to this one, just with all the drinks still in there as is, and just moved it, and nobody buys it. Nobody buys the sparkling water. Not that it wouldn't do well somewhere else. We're going to test it at another location and just try it out, but we're going to replace that with a energy drink option, a Rockstar, two-part. One, because more people like energy drinks, just a fact of life. When it comes to vending, and not many people are attracted to the healthy options, even though they say they are. They ask for it, but they never buy it. And you put in the energy drink options, the margins are insanely better, because sparkling water, it's 83 cents for a unit, and then you sell it for $2. But with Rockstar, at least the ones that we get them for $1.17, and we're gonna sell it for $3.50, and that will be much more favorable, because who doesn't love making almost $2 or more in net profit? So that's where we're at. Is it going to crush at that location? Probably not. But again, it's free storage, and I don't have to pay for having the credit card readers on or anything like that in my garage. So it would just make sense to keep it there. Over time, we'll find a new location and just move it there. Other update within vending is we have an apartment complex that we're going to be adding 2 more machines to, because right now there's a combo machine, which is a tank. It makes right around $900 a month right now, which is awesome. And the tricky part is, it only holds so much. It only holds like 20 snack and candy options, I think. So by adding a snack machine, we'd add 60 selections to the total, something like, I don't even remember, but it's a lot more. So a lot more variety typically means more revenue, but at the same time, if the same exact people are buying, it's more options for them, which is attractive. But we do know what they like at this point, so we're going to buy those exact items and relevant ones to it. So like, for example, honey buns and the honey buns and what are those called? Oatmeal cream pies, like the Little Debbie's. We're going to add those to the facility, and relevant ones to that. So like the cinnamon cake options, because people like those, and that's just what sells. So we're going to try that out over time and see what works and what doesn't. But at the end of the day, all this is like A/B testing. Figure out what items are working, what items aren't, and then from there you can then say, okay, cool, we're doing well with this product. Let's just add that exact same one, maybe double up on rows, and then add another relevant item to see how that does, and just constantly grow from there. So I'm not saying we're gonna like 5x our income, but it's reasonable to say that it would increase, because we're offering more options. More people would likely enjoy what we're offering, but more than anything, which is the biggest thing for me, is it will cut back dramatically the amount of time that I need to spend working on this business and like going to a location, if we have a location that can hold 2 or 3x the capacity. So that's more so what's important for me, is finding locations that are going to be able to allow me to spend less time working on the business and just maximize our routes entirely. So that's my mindset, and I'm really interested to see what will happen with that. We might make an extra, like, I don't know, $200, $300, which is honestly still better than what we would likely be making at the location the machines are currently at. So we'll see. Even if we drop down a little bit in overall revenue, we would save money on gas and general time, because I don't have to go to multiple locations to make the exact same or almost the exact same amount of money. And also there's far less complaints, which I love, because the issue with the smaller locations is they're the loudest. They're always going to be the most vocal, the most opinionated on what is going on, and what the problem with this machine is XYZ, and it's just, I don't know, it's a little bit less annoying for lack of a better word. So that would be really exciting. And the only thing that now is really just in the future, like not now, because we have the machines already. I don't want to buy an entirely new machine if we already have some that can fill the demand right for this time being. But our biggest sellers are Celsius and like those slimmer energy drinks like Red Bulls for the most part. So the machine that we would be adding to this, one of our better locations, is what's called a stacker. So you can put cans up, and you're not able to put the slimmer cans because the machines weren't designed to vend those types of cans. You could buy a configuration like a shim that could allow for slimmer cans, but from what I've heard, it's a nightmare to work with those because they just never work as intended. So I'd rather not bother and just put more Coke Zeros and, you know, Monsters and things like that in there anyway, and just be done with it. However, what I was getting at is at some point down the road, if things are just cruising along and we're just loving life, what I would love to do is buy a glass front machine, which would have the ability to offer all of those slimmer cans and everything, and you can show the people exactly what you would be about to buy, which would, you know, it's typically going to increase sales that way too. So that would be my anticipation is let's add that in the future. No rush to do that now because we already have the machines, and I honestly just want to make the most out of the route we have. And we have one more pair of machines that we still need to put, which is at that Kentucky location. We're trying to find out. I'm not in a rush there either, but eventually that will go somewhere else too. And then assuming that location does well, then it would be a matter of, okay, how do we add revenue here? Do we swap machines out and take those machines and put them somewhere else? It's constantly a game of like small 1% improvements, but the core focus at this current stage is how are we able to maximize our time, which is by far my most important focus, and how can we maximize revenues. And for me, the revenues are lost whenever I'm not able to stock the machine that's out of certain products. Like, for example, Coke Zero is a freaking beast with most of our machines. So it would only make logical sense that you should offer a ton of Coke Zeros or other relevant products. The issue is with the combo machine that we have at our best location, it runs out of product quickly. So that limits our ability to sell, you know, a lot of those because we can only put like 16 in there. But with a stacker, I think you could put 60 plus for sure in the one that we have. So I would, whatever that is, like 4x our total capacity, which would mean, I don't want to say 4 times or like 1 time a month I'll go stock, but in theory I could go like 1 time a month and I would make the same revenue, if not more, because I wouldn't lose the ability to sell that product, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit more favor. I'm a bigger fan of them, of the stackers. And then in the future, like I said, if we ever do decide to get a glass front, I would need to double check the dimensions to see if we could fit in a glass front at the bottom and then put the stacker at the top. Because if we could put the stacker where I would want to put it, that would actually be amazing, because then we could vend insane amounts of drinks and we could put in all the energy drinks that we want. And then the sad day would be that we would pull the combo out because it's just not a good use of a space, because we would make more through having a glass front and a stacker and then a snack machine. Because combos are great more for anything if you're tight on space, or you're trying to make, you know, just test the waters, something like that. It's a good option. But moving forward, I'm not really sure if I would even buy a combo anymore, just because I want to buy locations or get locations that are justifying in getting a drink and a snack only, because the location is heavy enough. Going backwards in time, I would have preferred to get a drink and a snack machine separately. The only issue is it was way more cost effective for me to get just a combo, because I got it for like $3,600, and technically we've already paid it off. But that is that's everything really up to date. on the side of vending, and I'm really excited because we're gonna pull that machine and move it on Thursday, and then there's gonna be a pool party at that location on Friday. So should be a heavily used day, God willing. We will see. But worst comes to worst, if we're not able to put the stacker in that location in the space that I would want, it's not a big deal. Like, I would just keep the combo there indefinitely and just have that, really as a permanent solution, because then we would be able to offer an insane amount of drinks and snacks, and then the combo machine would be able to offer both. The biggest downside that I've seen and become aware of is when people swipe their card on the combo, they are able to get a credit of like $5, and they can use that however they want. So preferably, if I could, I would love to be able to offer that's the one downside, because you lose the ability for people to be like, oh, this is very convenient, I want to be able to buy multiple options at once, versus buying one drink and then moving to a different machine right next to it, and then buying a snack there. So it's like, it saves them a little bit of time. It's a little bit more convenient with the combo, but in terms of like overall revenues, it makes way more sense to just offer 2 separate machines and just do it that way. I would love for there to be a way to like link the machines completely, so that they would be 2 separate options right next to each other, but like 2 separate machines, but you could link them so that the credit could go towards both. But that's forward thinking. I'm not sure when that'll happen, but I can't imagine that it would be very complicated. Anyway, that's everything in a nutshell. I will pause here, but thank you for following along. And if you made it this far, you might as well consider just liking and commenting and engaging and doing all the things. If you could subscribe, that is by far the best way to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. But thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned.